Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And I'm also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. I am thrilled to be interviewing today my favorite comedian of all time, my friend, and Phoenix's latest celebrity artist, Jessica Kirson. Jessica produced the upcoming FX's Hysterical, a feature-length documentary premiering at South by Southwest 2021 that explores the changing landscape of women in comedy. The documentary features Margaret Cho, Nikki Glazer, and Chelsea Handler, to name a few. Her 1 hour special, Talking to Myself, executive produced by Bill Burr, debuted recently on Comedy Central. She's a regular on The Week at the Comedy Cellar and has appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, The View, and Kevin Can Wait. Take a sneak peek now at Jessica Kirson in her Comedy Central special.
I do a lot of shows for old Jewish people in Florida, and you wouldn't know this, but they're the hardest crowd there is. There's no harder crowd. After each show, I eat a live pig. I'm not even kidding. It's really hard because most of the crowd is 80, 90, some have passed. And I have to make them laugh, and they have horrible faces. I mean, I'm gonna end up looking like this. This is the face of every old Jew. I'm gonna end up looking like, no matter how beautiful you are, you end up looking like that. I mean, I'll be doing stand-up in 30 years. How's everyone doing? And if they do it even when they're saying something positive, like, it's gorgeous outside. Look at the sun. It's beautiful. This meal is delicious. The test came back negative. I'm gonna live.
Hello, Jessica Kirson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Will?
Good. I miss you, my friend.
I miss you too.
How many texts have you gotten from me during quarantine about that Broadway show I want to direct for
Well,
you?
we're going to do it. You didn't do a lot during quarantine. I mean, you just a gentle reminder every couple of months.
Once a week?
No, it wasn't that much. Maybe once a day. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Listen to me. We just saw a quick clip of you in doing your Comedy Central special that, I was so fortunate to be in the front row at. I will never forget seeing you. I think I was like 18 going on looking like 11, and watching you on a trip from college back to the city. I didn't know who you were, sorry. I was like, that's the
Okay.
funniest. You made me pee myself.
That's a compliment. I don't know who I am either. So when people say, I'm so sorry, I don't know who you are, I didn't know who you are, I'm like, I have no idea who I am. So that's not offensive to me.
You have done everything, Jess. You've done sitcoms, you've done Comedy Central specials, you have a movie coming out. Can you go a little bit into just backstory? I know it, but I want the audience to take a quick peek at who young Jessie was with the talent to make people laugh.
Well, I always had the ability to make people laugh. I learned at a very young age how powerful laughter is and how powerful being funny is, and that I could win people over and make friends that way and ease tense moments and, just be popular and all that kind of stuff. I was socially awkward, so I was a great mimic at a young age. I was always very silly. You make a lot of faces and do voices and characters, and I never thought I was going to be a comedian. I went to school to be a social worker, and my grandmother is the one who told me I should be a comedian when I was 29. And I took a class, and that was it. I just kept doing it, and now it's how many years later, and I love what I do. I mean, it's very challenging at times, of course, as you know, to be in this business, but it's an incredible job, and I feel blessed.
Look, you've accomplished so much in your career, Jessica. Can you explain a little bit about this movie that's coming out in April?
Sure. Well, I executive produced a movie that I'm also in. It's a documentary about female comedians. It's called Hysterical. It has Kathy Griffin in it, Margaret Cho, Eliza Schlesinger, Sherry Shepard, Nikki Glazer, a bunch of Judy Gold, a bunch of people.
Wow.
And it basically talks about our experiences as female comics on the road, how we've gotten to where we are, about our childhoods, the different things we've had to go through, and our writing processes, and the history of female comedians. It's really a great movie. It's coming out in South by Southwest, and then again in the beginning of April on FX and Hulu.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
now I'm working on it's related to this app. We're talking about things all over the world. I'm working on a new documentary about female comics around the world, which is
Oh,
amazing. So I've been interviewing female comedians from all different countries on Zoom, and getting to know all these women that do stand up in all these other countries, and it's so interesting.
wow. And you make me think of, like, again, what you do for an audience. Just, I've seen you in big theaters, I've seen you in small nightclubs. You have the ability to connect. And,
Yeah,
you mentioned this whole notion of you now connecting with comedians from different countries. I'm sure you are seeing a through line that no matter what creed you are, what language you speak, that there is a universality in the need to laugh, be
yeah,
silly, connect.
yeah, yeah. And we do connect. Yeah, and it's interesting. It's like everyone kind of says the same thing. I mean, it's different situations, different examples, but there's so many similarities, and it's really fascinating. I can't wait to put that out there too and show. I mean, they all say the same thing, like where they're from, people have become so serious, and a lot of people don't play anymore and act silly, and that they love bringing humor to people's lives.
I love it, Jess. I mean, look at I can't believe that I've known you for almost 20 years now, and just to watch not only your star rise, but to you always literally taking your career and your life in your hands and not waiting for anyone to
Hmm.
tell you what to do. You have created every single success in your life. You have knocked down doors that no one has ever knocked down. And now you're doing it, I can only imagine, not only for yourself, but your kids. I mean, I can only imagine when they look at you on TV, on Comedy Central, on the Tonight Show, on The View, on FX, but that you're also leaving behind a legacy when I think about all these projects that you're now executive producing, that go beyond comedy. That that must feel good.
I actually think about that. Like, it's more important to me about leaving that legacy for my children than it is for me to get the kudos for it. Like, I am, it does, I do take a moment and just think I'm proud of myself because I have accomplished a lot, and I continue to work hard, and you're the same way. I mean, we're both like that. We go try to get more work and hustle, and that's what you have to do. But I also want to teach my daughters that you have to hustle, and you can't just wait for things to come to you, and you have to it's my parents, with all the craziness in my family and in my life, they did teach me how to be a good business person, and I'm very
Mm,
grateful for that. And they were both go-getters, and I learned a lot from them.
I love that, Jess. And I'm so grateful for the time that you took today. I know you're literally in between doing interviews for this upcoming film coming out in a few weeks. And I love you, my friend.
Oh, I love you too. You're amazing.
And I can't wait to bother you in next month about the Broadway show I'm going to direct in weeks time.
You can bother me before next month. You can bother me next Tuesday if you
Jess,
want.
I'll text you tonight, baby.
Perfect. I love you.
I love you, Jess. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Will.
Bye.
Bye.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.